processes around this, so we'll let it load up for a few moments, and yeah, hopefully you can hear me all good and it's all going well. I will put in a question, and the question will be something along the lines of, Paul, what's the worst addiction? Coke. Kill you if my Coke. Gambling. Porn. What else? Alcohol. Alright, let's put that there. Boom. Start that poll. Alright, that's a lovely poll. What is the worst addiction? Alright, let's see myself streaming here, and I think I can get some music on this one, but copyright, obviously. Can I hear myself speaking? Testing. No rush on these live streams anymore. I used to be rushing, and but actually the longer I take, the better it is, to be honest, so that's pretty good. No rush on these live streams anymore. I used to be rushing, and but actually the longer I take, the better it is, to be honest, so that's pretty good. Alright, copyright music. Copyright free. We'll just stop. Kill you, Mbappe. Alright, if you're struggling, if you want some help, I will answer your addiction questions. Right now. Alright, let's have a look. Let's get stuck into these questions. Hey, hit the poll if you're struggling with addiction, or you just want to answer that question. What is the worst addiction out of that list, at least? And I'll get stuck into these questions right now. So, number one, how do I know if I'm dry, sober, or genuinely recovering? How do I know? Number one, how do I know if I'm dry, sober, or genuinely recovering? Dry, sober, what does that mean? Well, dry, sober is you're just sober, and doesn't mean you're. By the way, I see there's a good few people joined in. I've got an app, Bulletproof Recovery. It's on the App Store. You can download it now. I'm an addiction therapist. I was an ex-addict as well, and I've written a best-selling book. So if you want some help, you're in a good place here. Hello, Puspa. Hope you're doing very well. What's your opinion on this poll here? What's the worst addiction? All right, dry, sober. So what is dry, sober? Dry, sober is when you're just not drinking. My dear friend as well. Don't tell me you want some thumbnails off me or something. All right, dry, sober is where you're just sober from alcohol, but you haven't done the inner work on yourself to change your associations, change your beliefs. All right, so that's what dry, sober is. And the other one, or genuinely recovering. Well, dry, sober is when you're having emotional pain. You haven't addressed the root causes. You're still having emotional swings or mood swings, major swings. You're still having massive urges. So that's how we know you're dry, sober, and you're not genuinely recovering. If you're genuinely recovering, you're going to have these feelings: content, happy, enjoyable, loving, enjoying sobriety, rather than you're upset and frustrated. Puspa, that's awesome that you're from India. Guess where I'm from? Guess where I'm from? Where do you think I'm from? Probably pretty easy. I don't know. I've heard it. I'm from Ireland. Good old Ireland. Let's do another different poll. Can you be addicted to weed? Puspa, are you living in India as well? No, Start that one. Don't mind that last one. I'm from Ireland. Get a few good comments in there. Nice. All right, number 2. So you're not living in good old India right now, or you are living in India right now. All right, just look into number 2. What's number 2? Number 2 is, what's the safest way to quit alcohol if I've been drinking daily? Well, it's a great question. Honestly, a tapering plan is going to be your healthiest passion, because if you do just stop, you will actually maybe get alcohol poisoning or lack of, and you'll actually hurt yourself really badly, your insides. So don't just quit alcohol if you've been drinking daily. Come down on a taper plan and do that with a therapist, do that with a psychologist, do that with AA, do that with rehab, do it with something, or do it with a professional, and it will be very useful that you can do that. All right. So yeah, that's how to stop. That's the safest way. Taper down. Come down with a plan. Let's say you're drinking 1 bottle of wine a night, which is what I hear a lot from my clients. They're drinking 1 bottle of wine a night. If they're drinking 1 bottle of wine a night, go down to 3/4, go down to half, go down to a quarter, or have one day where you're off, drink again the next day, 1 day off, drink again the next day. Come down in days, come down in liquid quantity. That's the safest way for you to come down on your alcohol, not just instantly. All right, number 3. What should I expect at 7 days sober, 30 days sober, 90 days sober, mentally and emotionally? Well, this is great because I have an app, the Bulletproof Recovery app. You can download it on the App Store right now, and it will tell you. It'll actually tell you 7 days sober, 30 days sober, 90 days sober. And what it will tell you, I'm looking at what a beautiful sunset this is here in Ireland. A beautiful one. My goodness gracious, I tell you. Follow me on Instagram, Gary the Expert, if you're there, Gary the Expert. Also, vote on the poll. See, nobody's voted, but there was loads of people voting on it yesterday, so we're missing out here. Vote on the poll. Can you be addicted to weed? That is the question. Why can't the poll go down there? That's what I don't want to know. All right, what's the third question? The third question is, what can I expect? 7 days sober, 30 days sober, 90 days sober? Well, it depends on your substance. So let's say you're addicted to alcohol. Oh my God, I tell you, this is a mess. I need more screen. So if you're at 7 days sober for alcohol, your kidney and liver's function is going to be coming back online. Your sleeping is going to be getting better after 7 days. You still should have withdrawals or cravings, intense ones. After 30 days, you should be coming into a place where your dopamine centers are much healthier, you're sleeping better, your energy's back, your cravings are less. 90 days, you're going to be in a really, 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 really strong position, especially if you're 90 days sober. So that's just basically enhancing all of those things. So that's number 3. That's number 3, is it? Yeah, number 3. All right, number 4. Why do I crave sugar, junk food after quitting substances? Why do you crave those things? Well, look at the sentence. Why do you crave sugar for your substances? Sugar for the substances is a replacement, isn't it? It's just another way for you to feel high. Junk food is another way for you to escape. It's another escaping mechanism. You didn't know how to escape with it back in the day? Now you do know how to escape with it, and you escape with it with alcohol, right? You escape with it with tons of alcohol. So, all right, that's that. What's the next question? Hit the subscribe button, by the way, if you're new around here. I'd really appreciate that. I'm Gary. I go by Gary the Expert. You can follow me on Instagram, Gary the Expert. I am an addiction therapist. I've got over 100 reviews, gratefully helping clients, and I was an ex-addict as well. All right, next one. Can I be sober? No, number 5. How do I handle physical pain or injuries without relapsing into pills and substances? Well, this is genuinely a fascinating question, because I've met tons of clients that have a codeine addiction or a benzodiazepine addiction, and now they have an illness, or now they have hurt themselves. So they have an illness or they hurt themselves. Now they go need to use a tablet, but because they're addicted to tablets, they don't know if they should use tablets because it might relapse them and cause them to go down a lot of patterns. So it's just very, very sad. So how do you handle physical pain or injuries? Jesus, I think you need to get a doctor's opinion on that. I really do think you need to get a doctor's opinion on what you should do best in that scenario. If you're feeling confident, work with a therapist that you know you're gonna have a certain amount of medication. I'd honestly try to stay away, but suffer the pain. That's what I would do. Suffer the pain. All right. Can I be sober if I still smoke weed, vape, and or use nicotine? Number 6. Can I be sober if I still use weed, vape, or use nicotine? And by the way, there's a poll. Vote on the poll up there. The poll is saying, can you be addicted to weed? Can I be sober if I still smoke weed, vape, or use nicotine? Me personally, I don't think with weed, with vape and nicotine, they're different things in my eyes, but with weed, I don't think you'd be classed as sober in my book in any ways. I'm against nicotine / vaping. I think for obvious reasons, and but they're much more acceptable. Weed in Ireland is illegal at least, so you know it'd still be classed as not sober in my eyes. Number 7, how do I rebuild the dopamine system when everything feels boring? Well, there's 2 things or 2 answers I'll give to that. One of them being that your dopamine centers will come back online over a period of time. Thanks for the vote there, whoever voted. Your dopamine centers and systems will literally come back online. After 12 months, a cocaine addict will basically be at baseline, right? But thank you for the other vote, appreciate that. After a year worth of sobriety for cocaine users, their dopamine centers will basically be back to baseline. They're still going to have a memory of being an addict. It's always going to be there, but their brain would have healed. And like strobe lights, parties, bars, pints, these things are much less dopaminergic into their brain, so they're not going to be flaring up. The brain isn't going to be flaring up again. If I hook them up to an ECG or an EEG scanner, should I say, their brain would be flying if you show them strobe lights, beers, parties. That's because they're so conditioned around drugs. So time is going to replenish or increase or improve your dopamine centers. And the other answer that I'll give to that is that you're subscribe if you're new around here. I'd really appreciate that. The other thing. So one would be time, sober time, and the other one is basically your associations or beliefs. If you believe nothing is as good as the drug, I think you're recovering unhealthily. If you believe there's nothing as good as the drug, I think you're not helping yourself there. So beliefs is the other thing. The beliefs that you're carrying. A depressed person thinks the world's against them. They think nobody likes them. They think they can't do it. They think no matter what they do, it changes. So that's a depressed person's beliefs. So they're not even addicted. So unless they change their beliefs, they're going to continue to stay depressed. So how do you rebuild your dopamine systems when everything feels boring? It feels boring in comparison to cocaine. It feels boring in comparison to drinking alcohol every day. It feels boring. Going for a walk is not going to be as good as cocaine. But when you go for a walk, you can change your beliefs. Walk is a great thing. Walk is a healthy thing. Walk is a purposeful thing. Walk is a great thing. Walk is a meaningful thing. You know, this is a much more healthier beliefs that you'll actually have. Time, dopamine. Time, beliefs. Working on those. All right, what's number 7? No, 8. What do I do when I get sudden cravings out of nowhere with no obvious trigger? Well, you probably do have a trigger, even though, as you mentioned, it's not obvious. So what do you do when you have cravings? I would do a meditation. I would do an urge surfing playbook. I'd go into my HALT, H-A-L-T. I think it's hunger, anger, tired, something lonely, tired. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Go into HALT. That's an urge surfing coping mechanism. So when you're going through, when you have your urges, go to a playbook. What's your playbook when you have urges? Call a sponsor. You know, vote on the poll as well if you're new here. Call a sponsor. Do a meditation. Go into urge surfing. Do the HALT technique or strategy. Right? Call someone or get someone close to you. There's real things you can do, and don't worry about it. Ride the wave. Enjoy the craving. Enjoy the thing, but don't fall for it. Yeah, don't fall for it, but enjoy the fast emotion. As much as that, it sounds crazy enough. All right, what's number 9? TV's obviously picking up on someone there. Again, hit the vote button. Hit one of the votes there. What do you think? Can you be addicted to weed? Or how do I deal with phantom hangovers and anxiety days after I stop? What are phantom hangovers? I think it's just like you have really, really long feelings of downness, is it? Or you feel down in the morning time. Phantom hangovers, is that what it's called? Let's see what it says here. We're learning something here today as well, which is great. Phantom hangover is a phenomenon where you feel classic symptoms of alcohol hangover. All right, yeah. Which makes sense. All right, so how do you deal with it? Is that what it said? Try to get this guy off the screen here, whoever that is. All right. How do I deal with phantom hangovers and anxiety days after I stop? Well, you will feel it days after you stop. Unfortunately, you're gonna have a down period. The withdrawals and the down period can last up to 2 weeks, give or take 1 to 2 weeks. You could be getting cold sweats, lack of fatigue, more fatigue, lack of appetite, lack of sex drive, and these hangovers that you're talking about. Just all of those challenges, like you're feeling anxious. It will happen. And it's going to happen for a week or 2 weeks for you, and then eventually the clouds start clearing and you start feeling much better with yourself, all right? Hit the poll, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. I'm Gary. I go by Gary the Expert. I am an ex-addict and I'm an addiction therapist answering your questions. All right, number 10. What's the best way to detox from cocaine, stimulants, mentally, like the depression crash? Right, so what is it? Let me read that again. What's the best way to detox from cocaine, stimulants, mentally? Like the dopamine crash. Best way to detox from cocaine or stimulants. All right, the best way to detox from cocaine or stimulants is to get good support networks around you so you can have or do other enjoyable activities. It is also for you to replace or get some sort of stimuli like dopamine or, I was going to say norepinephrine, but I'm not sure if that's true, to be honest. Serotonin. There's getting another way to get your high just as much as you're doing it with friends. Detox, be calm and relaxed. If you do relapse, which is very likely, unfortunately, it's okay. All right, it's okay. And another way to detox, I would say, like in advance of the next one, delete and block all those numbers. Yeah, delete and block all those other people that are texting you. All right, number 11. How do I stay sober when my friend group is still partying every weekend? What a great question. How do you stay sober when your friend group is partying every weekend? Does anyone in the comments want to answer that question? Does anyone want to get into that? How do you stay sober in a friend group that all use? How do you do that? How do you do that? Anyone want to take a guess on that answer? I'll try to let people come into the chat. Again, no rush. Excellent. If you are struggling with addiction, this is the live stream for you. I'm going to say that like every 10 seconds. Maybe try to get some people. If you are struggling with addiction, this chat is for you, and this whole place. All right. So number 11. How do I stay sober when my friend group is still partying every weekend? Your friend group is going to be probably your biggest trigger than anyone else. Don't mind your triggers of like, oh my God, it's Friday, or your friends are going to be probably your biggest trigger and your biggest challenge. They're the people you love, they're the people you trust, they're the people you want to spend time with, and they're the people that's using. So if they're using and you're not using, you're the outsider, you're crazy, you're this. So that's why it's hard when you have a friend group. So how do you stay sober? Have a serious chat with your friends. Tell them, I can't keep doing this, or you don't want to keep doing this. Go out with new friends, find new friends altogether. Go out with new friends or find new friends altogether. Do different activities with your friends. Say that you don't want to go to the pub this weekend with them and you want to go and do something like a drive, or you want to go to like bowling, or you want to go do a different activity just as much, right? Because they're going to still keep partying, and unfortunately, they probably will keep partying on forever, your friend group, all right? Number 12. How do I handle weddings, holidays, where everyone is drinking and I'm the odd one out? Yeah, I was going to say, can you hear those fireworks? You can. It's pretty crazy. If you're new on the stream, hit the vote button there. What's your opinion on it? What's your thought? All right, let's go back and get to some more, yeah? We got to get some more done. How do I handle weddings, holidays, where everyone is drinking and I'm the odd one out? When I'm working as an addiction therapist with clients, holidays, weddings, stag do's are the hardest thing that I can put people into, genuinely. Or lads' anniversaries where they're all coming back to meet each other. Let's say Christmas, like all the lads are back. They're all from different countries. They've all come home. That's the most difficult place that I can put someone in. So how do you handle them? It's really up to interpretation, because I can say don't go, which it wouldn't be. You want to go, right? Because again, these are your friends. These are people that it's a wedding. It's an important day. You can. A lot of people struggle with like giving people a reason why they're not drinking. Like that's something that people struggle with. A reason why you're not drinking. You don't need to give a reason why you're not drinking. You say for my health benefits. You can say that. You can say that I'm not drinking because of my health benefits. You can say I'm not drinking because it doesn't serve with me or it doesn't work with me. So whatever you want to say, you can say it. Say it with confidence, because a lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be looked at, they're going to know I have a problem. This happens. So how do you stay sober? You're going to be asked, by the way, if you want to drink. People think about going on 0-0s. I don't recommend going on 0-0s. I think you're just there. You're this close to using again. If you're new on the stream, hit the vote. Can you be addicted to weed? That's a question that I'll ask for you. Hit the like button as well. Hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. All right, number 13. What are hidden relapse signs that show up before the substance does? What are hidden relapse signs before the substance does? Hidden relapse signs, you feel more stressed, you feel like things aren't going your way, you're feeling FOMO, you're having friends that are texting you, you're having arguments at home. These are hidden triggers that will cause you. So most people, they say on Friday, I just got text messages and I went, but actually on Wednesday you had an argument with your partner, or on Wednesday you felt lonely, or on Tuesday you felt bored, and then you text the group chat saying, are we going out this weekend? That was you Tuesday bored, not Friday we made the decision. It wasn't Friday when you were in the jacks taking the substance. That wasn't the last moment. That wasn't the ending. The ending was Tuesday when you send the text message into the group, or you said you're bored and you hate life and you this and that. So what are hidden signs of relapse? People, places, text messages, arguments, emotions, boredom, loneliness. These are all critical when we're looking at someone's relapsing. You also get text messages from dealers. You get text messages from friends. These things are solid things for why someone would relapse. All right, again, if you're new here, hit the poll there. I'd really appreciate that. Give it a like. Follow me on Instagram, Gary the Expert. Subscribe. I'd much appreciate that. All right. Number 14, how do I plan for high-risk moments like alone time, travel, or hotel stays? So high-risk moments, I would actually say, is those holidays, holidays, marriages, or what's it? Weddings, marriages, weddings, and lads' nights out. That is what I would class as hard days or hard nights. All right, so what's that one? It's how do I plan for high-risk moments, alone time, travel, or holiday stays? So plan for high-risk moments. I do that a lot with clients. In fact, like let's say for Friday, they're going out. Well, you're only going to drink a certain amount. How much drinks are you going to have? And what time you're going to be home at? These are very simplistic strategies that you need to stick to. If you don't stick to them, you're only going to be at your own fault. Yeah. So you're getting your cake and you're eating it too. You get to go out, and you also get to drink. And if you don't leave at the same time that you said, you've got problems. I don't care if your friend said, "Look, come on, just stay out. You're being a girl. You're being this. You're being that." You need to go home at that time that you said you were going to go home. And that's that. You have to stick to your own word. You have to create your own new word. And you have to create your own, this is it. This is what we're doing. See, my phone's on like 6% as I'm going through this. So I'm going to go grab my charger here. And I've got it. Just like that. If you're new here, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. And boom. I'd also hit the subscribe button. That'd be great if you could. All right. What's the vote? What do you think of the vote right there? Can you be addicted to weed? What's your opinion on that? So, high-risk moments, stick to your word. Create a plan, stick to your word. Work with a plan with a therapist, a plan, right? What else can you do on alone time? Talk to someone, chat to someone while you're there. Plan talking to someone that you say you're going to do that. Travel or holiday stays. Well, travel or holiday stays, I would say enjoy them, which is kind of crazy. Find out a new way to enjoy those nights. All right. Number 15. How do I repair my relationship with my body after years of substance use? Sleeping, movement, routine. Well, Beautiful. Number 15. How do you repair the relationship with your body? It's funny the way that's framed, isn't it? The relationship with my body. Yeah, self-love and all that, right? Am I right? I was an ex-addict. I get told twice over the last month that I don't look like I was an ex-addict. That is the benefits of being sober for so long, that your body heals and grows and develops, and your skin changes every 7 years, they say, right? So basically, you're like, you're gonna repair your body and your relationship over a period of time. Training, obviously, like this is just the basic advice. Sleeping well, routine of you're going to bed at the same time. You're sleeping in a dark room. You've got blackout blinds. You've got cold room. You know, consistency sleep. Maybe get an Aura ring. Use background noise if you need to. Get an eye mask. These are all simple things with routine. When you got the element of training, you know, get a training plan. Get a personal trainer if you want to. Go to a gym. Sign up for one. Go to jiu-jitsu. They're very simple things that you can do for your body. Very very easy question, I think. And your body will repair over a period of time. If you're new here, do the poll. Also, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I really appreciate it. So we're gonna wrap up here in a few moments. But yeah. Got an addiction question. I'd love to answer it for you, by the way. Just struggling with one. Chat in the chat there. It's Friday night. Trying to stop people from relapsing. That's the best thing I can do for them. Alright. We'll give it 2 minutes left. Woo. Got a question? Drop it in there. I will answer it. I'll do my best to work with you live right now, in this moment. Maybe I need to write that down. Try it, yes, you can. Eckhart Tolle back there. The Power of Now. Have you ever read that book? Let me know in the chat. Have you ever read that book? Can you be addicted to weed? That's the poll up there. Hit that button. Let me know if you can. If you believe you can be addicted to weed. If you want a question answered, drop a question in. I'll answer it. Struggling with addiction? This is the chat for you. I'll answer any questions you've got on addiction. I'll help you right here in the moment. And get Eckhart Tolle out of this picture. Can you be addicted to weed? That is the question. Has anyone got the answer? Can you be addicted to weed? What a lovely evening it is in Ireland. I'm sorry, that is absolutely beautiful out there. I should play some video games or something today. Can I go live on my computer at the same time or what? No, I think we're back. Jeez, that was wild for a few moments. Why doesn't that come up as an option there? You You're struggling with addiction. Drop in a comment there. I'll help you right here, right now. Go live. We'll just go live. Bam. All right, we are live on two platforms. The YouTube over here on my phone, and then the main camera, the main angle. Can you hear me all good? That is the real question. Doesn't look like it. Alright, what we're going to do is going to answer some questions, but I don't think I can do it in here, can I? Share screen, I can. That's absolutely brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic news. Alright, what are you doing over there? Happy Friday. If you're struggling with addiction, this is the place where I'm going to help change that for you. Now, let me get a poll going in here. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright. How do I do a poll? Engage with your audience. Start a poll. There we go. Can you be addicted? Can you be addicted to it? Start poll. Alright, if I get watch time on this thing and I get watch time on this thing, this is gonna be bloody great. I'll get paid instantly in about 5 minutes. Alright, let me share my screen for some questions. We'll run through a few more. Give me more. Give me more. Alright, let's run through some of these questions here together. Share screen. How loud is that microphone? Doesn't seem loud. Testing, 1, 2. Alright. Share. Where are they? Oh, that's the app. Yes. I'm so happy that I'm in this frame. That's brilliant. Alright, let's run through these questions that I can do together. Alright, first question. What's the difference between being sober and being safe? What is the difference between being sober and being safe? Alright, I'm going to take the context of being safe there. And being safe means that you are, I would say I'm safe, where I am much further down the road. I don't have anything to worry about in terms of my addiction. I don't have to go backwards. I don't have any coping mechanisms or doubts or fears. So what it means that when in terms of being safe, I'm going to take that context of what's the difference between sober and safe. I'm going to say sober, meaning that you are early in recovery or you're just mid-term or mid-length. Being sober is where you still have to cope, or you still have to strategize, or you still have to see therapists, or you still have to mentally prepare yourself, or you still have to be hyper vigilant. So that's the difference. Being sober is being on the ball, active. You're in active recovery, and you're really focused on it. Being safe is, again, I don't know what it exactly means by that, but what I'm classing that means is that you're further down the road, and you don't need to have such vigilance or such focus on your recovery journey. For example, some people in AA will say they need AA and you need to go to every single meeting, you can't miss a meeting, and some people like kind of taper off. They come off a little bit and they're a little bit further away. All right, so that'd be an example of that. All right, what's next? How to tell people I'm not drinking without making it awkward. Fantastic question. Why is it a fantastic question? Because this happens all the time in terms of clients that I deal with. They always say, how can I tell friends? And they wouldn't say like, how do I tell friends? But they would say like, oh, I don't know what my friends are going to say. I don't know what they're going to say, and it's a bit awkward. And what you can say is you can say like, you can do it like jokingly, you can do it like open and honest, and you can do it something like I don't know what the other one is, but you can go like, alcohol doesn't agree with me, so I don't drink alcohol for maybe challenge won't be the last one, so I don't drink alcohol. Another one would be that drinking alcohol. I'm not drinking alcohol for until March. I just set myself a goal for myself, and me and my friend are doing it, me and my partner are doing it. So that's like a little mini goal, and that will get you through that event. Or you can be joking about it, like, Jesus, I'll be drinking every day for the rest of my life if I drink today. I don't know. It's just you're setting a challenge for yourself. So there's definitely ways of doing it in a healthy way, where if you're not drinking, you don't need to make it awkward by being honest, having fun with it, setting a challenge with it, whatever your personality says or thinks, doing that. All right, doing that. I actually think I need to check out my live stream on my phone to see if I'm getting good audio on this. And I'll do that just now. Give me 1 second. Fridays. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. Here we go. Then it's Saturday. Yeah, definitely getting great audio. Alright. But my phone's dead. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, what's the next question? The next question is, what do I do when I'm sober but I'm still fantasizing about using? Another great question. Why is it a great question? Because you will fantasize about it early in recovery. When you are in early recovery, you should be thinking about using. Why should you be thinking about using? Because all of your habits, all of your thinking, all of your invites, all of your text messages, all of your calls are all around using. So yes, you should at the start be fantasizing about using. If you're fantasizing about using in 6 months plus, 7 months, a year, you've got a real challenge on your hands. It's not a real challenge that can't be solved, but you've got a challenge on your hands that you're probably not doing the deeper work or inner work that would then stop you from using. What I mean by that is, after a period of time, there's no way you should be fantasizing, because it's toxic, it's terrible, it's the worst thing, it's poison, I can't go back, if I do that I'll destroy myself. If you truly believe you destroy yourself or kill yourself or hurt yourself for that, then you wouldn't drink, right? Then you wouldn't or take the substance. So if you truly believe that, so it should diminish altogether. Number 4, why do I suddenly feel confidence, then crash into anxiety later the same day? So why do I suddenly feel confidence, then crash into anxiety the same day? There's a thing called the pink cloud. I don't think that's so relevant to this, but this is basically your dopamine centers re-establishing themselves, come back online, or get to a healthier place. So it's this element of fluctuating. It's you're feeling hyperactive, you're feeling then inactive, you're feeling anhedonia, which is a lack of feeling. You're also then feeling hyper. I was going to say hypersomnia, but that's around sleep. Hyperactive. So this is all very normal as you're coming back online, quote unquote, in your recovery. So the wave of emotions that you're experiencing, I would say, is very normal. If you're feeling confident and then you're feeling anxious, I'd say it's normal. You might be feeling anxious because of shame shivers. Shame shivers is a negative image that comes into your mind, and that negative image might be something that's traumatizing. It might be something that's fearful. It might be something that's impacts you or takes you off your spring. So you're going to go through all of these regrets, doubts, shames, fears, and they're all very normal on your recovery journey. And that would be an example of why you would feel anxious later. You might be thinking of something that might be impactful. And by the way, if you're thinking of something that's impactful, you can come off them. You know what I mean? You don't have to focus on them. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be, you can process those things healthily. In the moment, they're going to hurt like crap, but you process them healthily. So number 5, what if I'm sober what if I'm sober but I feel emotionally numb? Does that go away? Simple answer, no, it never goes away. You feel emotionally numb. I'm obviously joking. You definitely will feel emotionally something after a period of time. Client today, for example, has just realised that, like, oh my god, I'm sober 9 weeks, which she's doing fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. She's sober 9 weeks and she realised that actually, oh my god, I'm still having stress, I'm still having problems, I'm still having hardships, I'm now facing all my emotions. So that's literally for someone that's happening today, that realizes that she still needs to face all of her emotions or all of her challenges. All right, so it's a real thing. But you won't feel emotionally numb for the rest of your life. It will go through, and sometimes people are afraid of those emotions when they do start coming, positive and negative. All right, number 6. How do I handle mornings when shame, anxiety is highest without slipping? It's fascinating, the shame and anxiety is such part and parcel. People don't often talk about it on recovery, but they really are impactful things for people's recovery journey. And how do you not slip in that regard? Well, trust me. You don't even need to trust me. You know yourself. If you were to go take that substance one more time, if you know you're going to take that substance again, it's only going to make the anxiety and the shame worse. So how do you handle those mornings? If I was to do it tactically, have a plan. Have a plan. What I mean by a plan is going out with a friend, going out with a family member, going to do an activity or a sponsor or an event. Number 2, have a sponsor. How to handle the morning. Call them in the morning. Make that organisation that you're going to call them. Number 3, go to the gym or do something that is proactive, regardless of the shame, anxiety. You're going to go do that. So that's again somewhat of a plan. How do you handle the mornings? I would journal. Write those things down. Those are very serious and impactful things for you. So write those down. Number 7. Then the next question. not keep answering that. What's a realistic plan for my first weekend sober? So I'll answer this in 2 ways. What's a realistic plan for you being sober? One is like worst case scenario. One is where you're getting invites every day. The lads are on you. They say want you to go out. They're non-stop pop GTA radio. They're constantly asking you to go out. What's a realistic plan for that weekend? Well, you're going to need to sit down or tell them or talk to them or say to them that, look, I'm not doing that, or you're going to just avoid them all this weekend, and you're just boxing yourself in a room, right? So that's one plan, is just boxing yourself up in a room for your first weekend sober. For a different weekend where it's not so much, everyone's pushing you and everyone's texting you and people understand. So let's say in the opposite, where people understand. A realistic plan, I would actually try to ask you the question of, what do you want to do this weekend? What would be good for you this weekend? What would be a happy thing for you to do this weekend? Is it go to the park with your family? Is it go to the cinema? Is it go for a walk? Go for the beach? Read something? Journal something? Go take a weekend break away? Or even just simply, watch football or not do anything on the weekend, quote unquote. So those are very simple things that would be a realistic plan for you on your first day. All right. Next, number 8. How do I stop testing myself? How do I stop testing myself, going near temptation to prove I'm strong? I actually encourage testing yourself, not early recovery, but definitely at a period of time where you can test yourself. Testing is one of the best things that I can do for a client. Why is it one of the best things I can do? Because if they're in the danger zone, then they're going to get more beneficial if they don't fail. So if they fail, which again, early recovery, they're very likely to fail. Later on, they're growing their strength and they're growing their confidence. So how do you stop testing yourself? I would say, don't test yourself early recovery. Don't have overconfidence after 3 sessions with a therapist. Don't think you can do it on your own, and don't think that it's what else? How do I stop testing myself? Yeah, there's various answers for that. As in, like, early recovery, don't test yourself. Don't be overconfident. Don't think you can do it in a pub. Don't think your friends aren't going to offer it to you. Your friends will offer it to you. You will have temptation. And don't do it early recovery. Later on in recovery, go for it. Alright, that's next. Number 9. What do I do when I get cravings in the car on my way home in my usual route? Well, this is an interesting story, because I've had a client in the past who would have he should go left, but when he has craving, he goes right, and he goes right towards the dealer's house and grabs the bag. So what do I do when I get craving? When I get craving in the car, I'm on my way home. In my usual route, you should call someone. That should be a friend. That should be a person. That should be a sponsor. That could be me. Call me. Call me. I'll do it. All right. So what do I do when I get cravings in the car? Call someone. Call a sponsor. Call your friend. Call your partner. And I would also I'd block the dealer, block the numbers. That same client that I talked about that went left instead of right, or went right instead of left, he only knew 2 phone numbers, his partners and his dealers, which is a very funny tale of asking someone to block something. Call someone in that moment. Call someone. All right, number 10. What if I keep quitting for a few days and then going back? What am I missing? So if you keep quitting after a few days you're going back, it's probably that you think you're pretty good and you're fine, you're okay, and you can do it. And because of that, you have a little bit of overconfidence, so you test yourself. And that goes back to the previous question, 2 questions ago. So when you quit after a couple of days, you're going back using, there's definitely a lot of things that need to be addressed. What are the triggers that's causing you to go back? What keeps you trapped here? What is keeping you from going back? Who is keeping you from going back or wanting you to go back unconsciously, even if they have good intentions? Where are you getting caught up or tripped up on these occurrences? And so these are quality, simple questions for if you keep using after a few days for quitting. When? Weekends? Where? Pubs? Who? Best friend? What? I don't know what the first one was. Oh, the triggers. The triggers. What are the triggers? Is it stress? Is it boredom? Are those things causing it? All right, number 11 on this list here. What do I do to handle work stress without using alcohol, drugs to come down? So what do I do to handle work stress without alcohol or drugs? Very simple. That would be like life advice almost. There is like go to the gym, hang out with friends, play 5-a-side football, go to jiu-jitsu, do a new sport, get a new hobby. These are simple things that you can do to handle work stress. Talk with them with your boss, journal about them for yourself, meditate on them. These are just simplistic tools, coping strategies for stress, not just work stress. All right, number 12. What do I do if I'm sober but I keep starting arguments and creating chaos? Well, you're definitely going to create arguments and chaos when you're an addict. When you're sober, early recovery, you still could have arguments because your brain is still skewed. Even though you feel you're okay, you feel you're fine. I was an addict. I thought I was the best person in the world. I thought nothing could get me wrong. I thought I was right. I thought I knew everything. I thought the world revolved around me when I was an addict. So when I read that thing, I was deluded. So you're going to cause arguments and you're sober, but you might still be a little bit wonky. You might still be a little bit off. So you will have less arguments over a period of time, and the chaos, I'm not sure why you're creating chaos when you're sober. You're creating chaos unconsciously at the start. You could be lying, you could have got caught up in your lies when you were an addict, now you're sober. If you're sober, you're creating arguments. The arguments might be that you're getting blamed, and then you're not actually, you actually are sober, but you're getting accused that you're not, which is a very popular thing or a very normal thing for people in their family to accuse them, like, are you on something? You must be on something, when they're not on something. So then if an argument happens, it's going to happen, unfortunately, on your recovery journey early. And they're actually really, really curveball things, because me working as an addiction therapist, I can't predict those things with a client. I can't predict how one random day on their recovery journey, they're going to have an argument with their partner. It's a very reactive thing in the moment. What I can predict is Friday, they're going to have urges. On Saturday, they're going to have text messages. I can't predict those things, but I can't predict what random day where you're going to have an argument or chaos. So they are real curveballs on a recovery journey, and you have to say in the face of those things that you're not going to do it. Number 13, how do I deal with I've wasted my life feeling early recovery? Well, this is hilarious, because I've had a client today say that exact sentence, word for word, that sentence of I've wasted my life. But the thing is, he's 28, 14 days ago, give or take, he's 28. And he's 28, he's 28, he says he's wasted his life, question number 13 there. The reality is that Bradley Cooper stopped drinking alcohol at 28, I heard. Is it better to stop drinking alcohol at 28, or is it better to stop drinking alcohol at 48? The answer is obvious, that 28 is 20 years ahead of 48. Would you rather be in AA in 28 and wrap it up by 28, or be in rehab at 48 and then wrap it up at 48. So you've got 20 more years. He's 28. He's no way he's wasted his life in that recovery. And he was bad. He was bad. The first session, he was drunk. Dark room. Devastation. Today's session, sober multiple weeks. Today's session, bright smile on his face, light in the room. Bring a tear to your eye. That could honestly bring a tear to my eye in this moment, I swear to God. So he's not wasting his life, but that perception is that he's wasted his life. It's terrible. It's not true. Even if you quote unquote wasted your time while you were an addict there, even if you were sober, you still could say the same thing, that you wasted your life. You could say that you wasted your time. And even if you gave 100%, you still could say you wasted the time. And you might say, well, no, it's not 100%. Well, you might say, why didn't I give 200%? Why didn't I give 300%? So no matter what, if you're sober, you're an addict, and you say, I've wasted my life, either one of those, you can still say, you were sober, you wasted your life, you were an addict, you wasted your life. So it's just a null sentence. It's a useless and wasteless sentence. Why is it wasteless? If you asked Usain Bolt, did you do a lot of training today? He'd say, no, I didn't do a lot of training, but you see him running 500 sprints, 100 meters 500 times today. He's like, no, that's not a lot. Our standard changes. Yeah, so even if you give your best, your standard changes, and you should have given more. Shouldn't give more. I think that's a lesson for life. That's a lesson for life. And the lesson is, you can believe you wasted your life at any age, addict or non-addict. And I don't think it's useful to think like that ever. Not once. Not once is it useful to think like that. All right, number 14, second and last one. When do cravings typically reduce? Well, 1 to 2 weeks. And what makes them come back? So cravings actually don't reduce. Withdrawals happen over 1 to 2 weeks. When do cravings typically reduce? And what makes them come back? What makes them come back? Triggers, people, places, things. Pubs, for example, text messages off best friends, the smell of it magically in the ear or magically in your nose, being in the toilet, having a key in your hand, having a card in your hand. All of those things are simple triggers of why you'd get an urge for using or going back to those. The cravings can last for a year, honestly, and the cravings would become less and less emotionally impactful. I'm over half a decade sober. I do not have cravings. Whenever a song might trigger me into it, like what I mean by trigger is an old song that I used to play 50 times when I was an addict, I would think about the substance. Or when I'm in a pub watching a football game, which I don't drink alcohol, but I'm in a pub watching a football game, I see someone walking into the toilet, and then a thought comes. These aren't cravings, they're just thoughts. All right, so there's no emotional sting to them, and that's multiple years down the road. So cravings reduce over time, but what makes them come? All those things that I mentioned on that list. So how do I build a sober plan for nights out, an exit plan, and then I can't build that. An exit plan, scripts, supports, and drinks. How do I build a sober plan for nights out? I would say honestly, very simple. Very simple. A sober plan for me is what time am I going out at, what time am I coming home at, what am I drinking, and I always and easily find that there. Now this one's the nuanced one. If someone asks me why aren't they drinking, which is a very common thing on people on early recovery, why aren't you drinking? You can easily say those few things that I mentioned earlier on the stream, that you would say it can either be a joke, it can be serious, it can be honest, it can be a lie, it can be whatever. Some people lie and they say, look, I'm just giving up for today, I'm giving up for Lent. Some people lie and they say, it's not agreeing with me. Or that'd be honest. In fact, that'd be really honest. So how do you build a sober plan? There's unlimited easy ways to do it. Know when you're going, know who you're going with, give accountability to someone that you're going with. And what I mean by give accountability, tell your best friend, tell your partner, tell someone that you're going with that you're not going to use, and or you're not only going to use, this is your plan, this is what you're doing, you're going to be home at this time and you're leaving with them at that time. So that adds layers of accountability. All right, that's it. That's all those 15 questions there, and I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well, and on this day, have a beautiful, blessed day. Get a good night's sleep. Enjoy your weekend. It's Friday night here in Ireland. I'm looking at a beautiful sunset. A beautiful sunset over here in Ireland. It's great. So with that being said, have a beautiful, blessed night. A beautiful, blessed weekend. I look forward to seeing you in the future. So I'll shut down this one. And I'll shut down the Alpha one. But follow me on Instagram, Gary the Expert, and download my app, Bulletproof Recovery app. So So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.